We're back live on the Big Mountain.
Hey, welcome back to the Big Mountain. Sorry, we are running about 10 minutes late. We were wrapping up two different videos, one that will drop tomorrow and one that will drop for our members only.
Ooh.
Our second members only video. Do you want to talk about that one at all?
Yeah, we can tease it a little.
Go ahead, tease.
Basically, again, it's a members only video, so we thank all of our members, all of our Mountain Dweller members. Basically, we kind of tease some things, some open spots in both the Big Ten and the Mountain West, and who we think could be good replacements. And honestly, I didn't just talk about, for the Big Ten, I didn't just talk about kind of who was reported, but I threw some names out there that I think would surprise people that aren't being reported, just on some other information I have. So it's not necessarily our normal, like, hey, on the record, stick to the facts.
Right.
It's a little bit more of us throwing some stuff out there and hoping our members enjoy it.
Las Vegas Larry has your back live. I saw a happy hump day up there earlier as well. Thank you, Las Vegas Larry. Surf City Bill, no, we actually turned down Feinbaum tonight because we have our live episode. We can't be on Feinbaum.
Right, and last time when I said he was a penis head, he got a little upset.
No, well, that happens too. Super Mario is drinking the Sam Adams, Steve,
Yes.
Oktoberfest. One of your faves.
I love it.
We've got Mario, Surf City Bill, Las Vegas Larry, JEH, Moses, Brad, Big Mama, and I'm sure plenty of other people. Great to have you here for another live episode. You can see we're going to be doing our picks first. We're going to have a brief conversation about A.D. McCoy for Washington State being fired. That happened just a few hours, or just came out in the news a few hours ago. And then Steve is going to do a very first ever book, what are you going to do?
Book review.
Book review. Yeah, I was going to say review, but I didn't know if that was accurate.
Recommendation. And the person who wrote the book is one of our Mountain Dwellers.
There you have it. A Mountain Dweller who wrote Fevered Calamity, in which Steve will give you a book review. And, of course, we'll give you all the links and everything. John's here. He's saying howdy. So we're going to get right into our picks. But before we do our picks, I have notes tonight, Steve.
Oh, very nice.
And it says stats.
Oh, I don't want to see those.
I know. You know, we were talking so much about how well you were digging yourself out of the hole.
Yeah.
You had gotten back to 500, and it took so much work to do so.
And then I have a crap
Then you
week.
just were like, I'm gonna relax for a week.
Yeah.
And it got you.
I fell back down on a few feet.
I know. It's okay, buddy. It's just not your year this year. You know, you carried us for the first 2 years.
It's been a weird, interesting year. Even just this last week. I mean, look at some of the results this week. It's just, strange.
I hear you. Well, there they are. You know, it is what it is. I mean, hey, look on the bright side. For straight picks, you're 82%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty darn good.
Not bad.
I'm still hovering above 50 on the total spread picks. I was 3-3 last week. I was 1-1 on my locks. Just sticking there around 40%. But, Steve, you know what? I'm staying on the horse.
All right.
I'm doing more locks tonight.
Let's do it.
Because we only got a couple weeks left, and I said, screw it.
I got a couple locks tonight. I'll put that out to the fans, so I'm hoping to go 2 for 2 this week. We'll see.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Well, there's the stats, and now we're headed to the picks.
Yeah, let's get right into the Big Ten picks. First of all, I believe this is a Friday night game. Minnesota traveling to Oregon, playing at Autzen Stadium. I did watch actually some of this last week's game, Oregon and Iowa.
Yeah.
I've been kind of surprised. Early in the season, Oregon was really putting their foot down. They've kind of let up a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and take Minnesota plus the 25.5 points. It's a lot of points. It just doesn't seem like Oregon is motivated right now to put their pedal to the metal.
Okay.
So I'll take Minnie plus the points. And Minnie is really good at being just like that scrappy team that runs the ball a lot, takes a lot of time off the clock. You know, so I could see Oregon winning this by like 17 points. But I'll take that 25.5 with Minnie.
Yeah, I was surprised it was that many points. I'm like, Minnesota's isn't a bad team. I know they're in Autzen.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I think Autzen is your second favorite word to say on the channel. Of course, your favorite is Piscataway.
Piscataway, New Jersey.
I say that while you're taking a drink. But you really like to tell everyone when they're at Oregon in Autzen Stadium. But yeah, I thought for sure when I saw the games, I'm like, oh, he'll probably take Oregon, until I saw the spread, and I'm like, how can you not take 25 points?
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't Oregon versus Wisconsin, although we know Wisconsin won last week. I was surprised by the spread, so I would absolutely take the points as well.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to the next game. This game could be weirdly interesting. So my second pick here, Wisconsin at Indiana. And I'm gonna kind of do something similar. I'm going to take Wisconsin plus the 29.5 points. And it seems crazy because honestly, I think Indiana is the best team in the Big Ten.
Yes, you do.
And Wisconsin has been pretty much the worst team in the Big Ten most of the year. But they did come back this last year with their last game surprise win over Washington Huskies. They just, the athletic director had announced that Luke Fickell is coming back.
Right.
They're going to invest more in the program. It seemed like their team, they just kind of got a shot of energy from that. We'll see if that can keep on going. But, Indy has kind of established their place now. They're locked into the Big Ten championship game unless they lose. As long as they keep winning, they're pretty much in there. And I think unless they lose, they're pretty much locked into their seeding for the college football playoff, most likely, or right around there. I watched some of the game against Penn State, and I saw some of the extended highlights. They still have some players out, and I don't know that they're going to be back. Their best receiver, Surratt, he missed the Penn State game. I think they were missing like 2 or 3 offensive linemen. And I kind of just think right now with these injuries that they're trying to just keep everybody healthy, get players back, and get to that Big Ten championship game. We did see them earlier in the season. They were just hammered. Oregon, just putting the pedal to the metal. But I think that Big Ten championship game is in sight now.
Right.
And they're trying to be a little smarter here. So I'm taking Wisconsin plus the 29.5. I'm a little nervous about that because what do I think is the best team and the worst team? But it is a lot of points. Whiskey's coming off a win, and Indiana, I don't know that they have the motivation to just throttle people right now.
It's a lot of points, and it's a little bit opposite of the last pick. I was a little surprised. I wasn't a little. I was surprised you took the points with the Wisconsin. I know it's 20.5. Yeah. It's a lot of points, but oh my goodness, Indiana's. I mean, they did have their scare against. More than a scare. They just about darn lost the freaking game at Penn State, but. I was a little surprised. I wasn't surprised with the mini plus 25. I am a little surprised with Wisconsin because Indiana's better than Oregon, and Wisconsin is significantly worse than Minnesota. But hey, it is what it is.
To me, the key factor is really
just the health and just not you don't need to go for it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you do one more pick, and then we have polls again tonight. Okay. I went for it. We're going to have 4 polls. You do a pick, and then we're going to put up a poll.
Sounds great. So my third game of the week is Michigan. At Northwestern. I think this one might be played. I think it might be played in Wrigley Field. I was trying to look that up.
Okay.
But Michigan at Northwestern. Michigan is the 12.5 point favorite. I actually expected them to be a slightly more, and I was prepared to take Northwestern plus the points. But I think Michigan wins this by about 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
They're really good at the things that Northwestern wants to do. I think really Northwestern wants to, run the ball, play good defense, all of those things, and they can be scrappy against a team like Oregon who's trying to, score more points, all of that. I think Michigan gets this done. I think Michigan wins by 2 touchdowns. I'm not locking it.
Okay.
But I like them to cover the 12.5. I really think they win by about 14 to 17 points.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good line.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that 12.5, 13.5 type deal. And I wouldn't lock it either.
This is another one where I thought Michigan would have been like a 17 to 19 point favorite.
Yeah.
And I was prepared to take Northwestern plus the points.
Yeah.
And then I saw the line. I'm like, I think they nailed it.
Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah. Well, let's put up our first poll. Our first poll is: will Ohio State and Indiana? You just picked Indiana. Mm-hmm. Ohio State and Indiana both go undefeated prior to the Big 12 championship game. So will we have a championship game of 2 undefeated teams? Yes or no? Most of my polls are yes or no.
Yeah.
50-50 shot.
Hey.
All right.
I like them odds.
We'll leave that up for a little bit, Steve. We'll let you keep going here. You're back to your Penn State and Indy Lions.
Yeah. So Penn State at Michigan or Michigan State in East Lansing.
Yes.
Penn State is actually the 7.5 point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I expected this game to be like almost a 50-50.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and take Michigan State plus the 7.5. I said earlier in the season I was just basically going to start picking against Penn State like no matter what,
right.
Because this year they've just figured out. There's been other years where they figured out how to win games.
Yeah.
This year they figured out how to lose games, and it hasn't really mattered if it's been a really good team like Ohio State and Indiana,
sure,
or some bad teams as well, and it's been consistent. It's been every time they need a stop at the end of a game. We saw the Northwestern game;
Yeah.
they can't get a stop.
Yeah.
If they need a score at the end, they'll drive down the field. They can't get a score. They're just this year. They're just a bit off. It is what it is. And we're starting to get to the end of the season. The guys are seeing the end of the road here, thinking about like where they're going and all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and take Michigan plus 7.5. I actually hope Penn State proves me wrong and makes me look like an idiot. But we have not seen Penn State win a game since September.
Okay.
Against Villanova, I think.
Okay.
So, what reason do I have to think that they're going to win a game at all? And if I can take Michigan State plus over a touchdown, 7.5,
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that until they
Okay.
prove me wrong. So that's
Okay.
what I'm going. Michigan State plus 7.5.
Okay. I have no idea what to expect in this
Yeah.
game, especially after last week. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Steve. I don't have any comments for you.
I don't really have any comments either. I just- all right. So next game, moving right along, Maryland at Illinois. Again, Maryland has been pretty good this year. Illinois been pretty good. They have a decent record, not as good as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to just maybe take that next step,
Yeah.
but still pretty solid and have beaten people pretty good. I'm taking Illinois to cover the 14.5 points against Maryland. I just think they're a much better team. And I'm going to make that my first Big Mountain ice cold lock for this week. So again, I just think Illinois, just a much better team. I think Maryland will hang around. They got Malik Washington. He'll make some plays. Then he'll make some mistakes at some point. And Illinois is just steady Eddie. I think they'll win this game probably by about 20 points or so. And so that's why I'm locking Illinois to cover the 14.5 points.
Okay. I already bet on this game, but I did the alt spread of 13.5.
I love it. Right under
I said I'm going to pay a little extra money just to get under the 2 touchdowns. So that's what I did. That was before I knew. I just got your picks here a couple hours ago, so I didn't know you were going to lock the game. I did like the spread, but I paid up. I paid a premium to go 13.5.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next game here is Iowa at USC. So they're traveling to Los Angeles. They'll play in the Coliseum. I think these are two pretty well evenly matched teams. I think USC has a little bit higher talent, but Iowa has that. They just have that thing that they do where they play good against better teams. They play their brand of football. But what I'll say is there are two different teams. Iowa has two different teams when they're at home and when they're on the road.
Yeah.
They're playing at USC. USC is still both teams are kind of they have a chance maybe for a CFB spot.
They got to win to get to
exactly
to do anything.
Yeah.
So
And so I think USC maybe they feel like they're a little closer to that. Very motivated. They're playing well. I mean, they've been playing really well this season. So I'm taking USC to cover the 6.5, and I'm making it another Big Mountain ice cold lock. I just think USC just the better team in almost every position. They have a lot more talent. Their quarterback Jaden Maeva has been playing really well. He had one game; it was kind of rough.
Yeah.
They got so much talent there's so much talent at the skill positions, wide receiver, all that, and they have a running game. This is the first year since Lincoln Riley's gotten there that I can remember they have a good running game.
Yeah.
They're averaging almost 200 yards a game, or right around 200 yards a game. I just like them, and I think they win by 2 touchdowns. Honestly, at home, I think Iowa is just such a different team. If this was in Iowa, I think that would be actually a pretty good line. But for me, I think USC wins this by 2 touchdowns.
I'm not surprised by your pick. I am surprised that you locked it.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going to be that confident in that pick, but I understand why you're doing it. I totally understand kind of the Iowa home versus away. I mean, you saw that last week. And you kind of see that throughout history. I mean, honestly, they're a different team at home. But yeah, I was a little surprised you locked this. Wasn't surprised you locked Illinois. But let's close our poll, Steve. We are going to. I think I know what most people are going to say at this point in the season. And wow, okay, it's not what I thought it was going to be. About 50-50, Steve. 55% says yes. 45% says no.
And I will almost guarantee most of the ones that say no, they think Indiana's going to lose a game.
Okay.
Because I think people still just don't fully respect Indiana. It's just what it is. If you look at their schedule, they don't really have too many terribly hard games. I mean, Wisconsin should not be a hard game. Once they beat Penn State, it kind of clears their schedule the rest of the year. Or, no, there could be some people that are like, well, Ohio State will lose to Michigan again because they've been. So that may be part of it as well.
Steven is here. Okay, good. He does have a new avatar. I didn't know that avatar, and then I looked at the name, and I went,
yeah.
oh, that's Steven.
Yeah.
We're doing well, buddy. Good to have you here. I'm keeping track of who you and John are picking so far, and you guys you're not exact, but you're close.
Okay.
You're agreeing quite a bit. And, of course, JEH is the biggest Penn State fan this weekend. Probably bigger than you.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if that's possible, but I think maybe. All right, Steve. We got, 2 more Big Ten picks.
Yep. Okay, so, 2 more Big Ten picks, and I have an ACC pick.
Yes.
All right, so the next game, Purdue at Washington. Washington is the 16.5-point favorite. They just did come off that surprising loss to Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin, they just got theirs finally. They had positive feelings. They got theirs. So, and Purdue, they're fine. They're scrappy, but they don't have a lot of weapons to keep up with, team scoring points. Excuse me. So I'm going to take Washington to cover the 16.5 points. I'm not going to lock it, especially after what just happened against Wisconsin. But, I just think Washington is such a better team, more skill position. And when they're firing, they can really put up a lot of points.
Yeah. I thought this may be a lock for you. This is another one that I bet.
Do you know why it wasn't a lock?
No.
Because of the Wisconsin game.
Okay. Well, I bet this one as well. I bet the Illinois game, and I bet the Washington game here. I went Illinois, I went Washington. I didn't change it at 16. I'm like, oh, you get that 17.
Yeah.
I'm weird like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it doesn't really matter, but I was okay with the 16.5.
It always feels good when you're under one of those common scores.
Yeah, that's just what I go for.
Yeah.
Brad says he voted no, and I'm sure some others did because of, they can't beat Michigan. And of course, they play in the last game of the season. So I'm sure there were some other no votes because of the Michigan issues that the Buckeyes have been having. All right. I like this last game, Steve. I was blown away by the spread.
Yeah.
But you weren't.
No. So the next game is Clemson at Louisville. And I'll just...
No. UCLA, Ohio State.
I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, my last Big Ten game. UCLA at Ohio State. Ohio State is 33.5-point favorite. Actually, I was okay with that spread. I think talent. I mean, even though UCLA has been playing better, but Ohio State's been continuing to play better, and they have probably the most talent in the entire country. Julian Sand is just freaking locked in. I thought it maybe could be a little higher, like a 35.5 or something.
Okay.
But I'm taking Ohio State to cover the 33.5 points. I did not lock it, honestly, because I think this is just a good line. I think they pretty much nailed the line. I think Ohio State wins this going away. I think UCLA will put up some points, and that's why the line isn't like a 35, 37 or whatever. So I thought the line was good, and I'm going to go ahead and take Ohio State to win by 33.5.
That's way too many points for me. I would have taken the freaking points. I know what you're saying, but holy crap, 33.5 points.
Yeah.
That's silly talk.
They're just firing on. I mean, they're just.
I know, but all right. So okay. I didn't see John put anything up for the Michigan State. What does he have? No, I didn't see him put anything up for Michigan State. But you and him agreed on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you disagreed on 2.
Yeah.
And I missed the Michigan State one. So
did you get his OSU one?
I got that one. Yep. Yeah. You disagreed on he took Maryland and he took Purdue.
Yeah. Well, and I want to talk about a difference with Ohio State and Indiana. Because people might be wondering, like, well, if you thought Indiana was taking their foot off the gas a little, why not Ohio State? The biggest thing, the 2 factors are injuries and depth. Ohio State, they just have 2 or 3 like 5-star players at every position.
Right.
Indiana, really, really good team. I don't think they have that depth that Ohio State has down the roster, down to like 2nd and 3rd string.
Okay.
And also, Ohio State's really healthy right now.
Yes.
They got a couple players, but they're really, really healthy. Where Indiana is actually a little bit banged up. So that's the biggest difference between my OSU pick and my Indiana pick.
I like it. I appreciate giving a little color to your picks. All right. You have one more, and then we're going to go to another poll.
Yeah, so I've been picking some ACC games this year. Last year I did a bunch of Florida State games. This year I've been doing some Florida State, some Clemson.
Yeah.
So we have Clemson at Louisville.
You do a great job.
Yeah. And I'm taking Clemson plus 2.5. And here's the deal.
I want to know the deal
Yes.
because I was blown away.
So Clemson has been playing better lately. They've been playing better, and Louisville is a team I've actually been on all season.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. I like Jeff Brom as a coach. I didn't put him. Well, we won't talk about that, but I like Jeff Brom as a coach. I think he's in the works of signing a new contract because he's in demand all of a sudden. And I'm trying to remember the name of the quarterback.
For who?
For Louisville, he came over from.
I don't know.
He came over from USC. He's been playing well. He was playing well early in the season, but has not been playing well lately.
Okay.
And Jeff Brom in his latest press conference basically ripped him and basically said like our quarterback stinks. Like, and that's why because they just lost a game. I forget to who.
Yes, they
did. And he basically said because our quarterback stinks.
Did they lose the Wake? Who lost to Wake? Somebody lost to Wake Forest.
It might have been.
Was it Virginia?
I don't know. That was Virginia.
Was that Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, just listen. Jeff Brom is a guy. He is always like super confident and whatever. And I mean, he just left it out there on the table.
Hey man,
yeah,
wake up!
Yeah,
wake up, quarterback.
I don't think Brom is very confident on this team right now. People are looking at them as a playoff contender. That's kind of dropping by the wayside right here. You could still get in. So I'm taking Clemson plus the 2.5. I think this is a total. The way Louisville has played lately, and the way their quarterback is playing, and the lack of confidence I see from Jeff Brom is what led me to take Clemson plus the 2.5. I think this is probably very close to a coin flip game, the way both teams are playing right now.
I feel like Clemson is letting you down this year like Florida State had let you down last year.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I was surprised you took this one, though, because Florida State plays, too. I don't remember who they play. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Miller Moss. Thank you.
Miller Moss.
Yeah. Brad is always on it for us. Thank you, Brad.
I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen a coach throw their quarterback under the bus. Like
Really? All right.
Maybe that's a motivational tactic.
It would have been for me. It might backfire on you, but it would have been for me.
Yeah.
All right, let's put up our next poll. We're moving to the Mountain West. This is which Mountain West team has surprised you the most so far this season? Maybe we did something like this earlier, but I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
Fresno State, Hawaii, New Mexico, San Diego State. It would be hard for me to pick because I mean, well, I'll tell you who I would pick. Actually, it isn't hard. Well, I'm between two. I'm between two.
So for me, the only one that's not surprising to me is Hawaii.
Yeah, that's not surprising either. But
we
I
were
just
both kind
put
of
them
on.
on.
Yeah. But I didn't know what to think of New Mexico, so I won't say them.
Okay.
For me, it's between Fresno State and San Diego State. Like, I thought San Diego State was going to be in for a really rough season.
Yes.
They've had a couple losses, but they've been really good for most of the season, especially their defense. Fresno State, I look at it the same way. I thought it would be more of a rebuilding project. They really started the season really well. They've had some hiccups, but they got a win over. They beat Boise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just beat Boise.
Yeah. So for me, it'd be one of those two, and I'd have trouble picking. But
Yeah.
we'll see what our fans.
Well, and if you watched our G6 top 10, all four of those universities are in our G6 top 10.
Very cool.
We think those are the four best. Yeah, because UNLV wasn't in it anymore.
Yeah, they dropped out.
We dropped them out. So we think those are the four best Mountain West teams right now, as we sit today. But we got some big games this weekend that could tell the tale of some things. So anyway, get your votes in there. Biggest surprise so far. Also want to remind everybody here a couple things. Steve, me and my couch and CBS Sportsnet are going to be the bestest of friends.
Very
And a
nice.
Dweller Brew.
Yeah.
Because from noon Eastern until, I don't know, probably 11:30, 12 o'clock, I'll be watching CBSSN, except when I have to flip over for the Wyoming game around 10:30 at night.
Love it.
But it's a quadruple game for the Mountain West. And it's quadruple because Air Force plays UConn.
Oh yeah.
But it's being picked up by CBS. It's not. It's at UConn, so it's not a Mountain West game.
Right.
But it's a Mountain West team.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's a trifecta of Mountain West games. But you get Air Force at noon, so
Love it.
it's a quad.
Love it.
It's unbelievable.
Love it.
So I got you a little doohicker there. I put this on X. We got a quad box of CBSSN games, and Wyoming. Fresno State is on FS1 at I think it's 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. So I will have to do some do-si-doing in terms of my evening games. Also, the game that isn't being shown on TV will be shown on our channel, The Big Mountain, live streaming Colorado State versus New Mexico, Steve.
And we promise we're not doing anything illegal. We have the full permission to do that.
100% full permission. We've streamed. The first stream we did was UNLV versus New Mexico almost 2 weeks ago. Then we've done a couple basketball games. We did a San Diego State game. We've done a UNLV game. Now we're back to a football game, and it's going to be fun. We're going to do a live pregame show. We're going to do a live halftime show. And through the software, we can be interactive and throw some people's comments up and down and all around, and it's a lot of fun.
I think that's my favorite part is putting the comments and you put them up there big and everything. It's pretty cool. I was just thinking that maybe we could get In Gloria We Trust to come on for a halftime show.
Oh my goodness! I can make a request.
Yeah,
I can make a request to see if we can get a Mountain West commissioner to come on the channel. But at the very least, we'd love to have you guys join us. Even if you're a Lobos fan and you're at the game, and Coach Eck has asked for 25,000 people, so let's do it, Lobos. Get 25K there. You can just have it on your phone, and you can watch some replays.
Yeah.
If you want to see the replays, put it on your daggone phone. You can watch it in front of you. Watch the game live. Watch the replays on Big Mountain.
And man, the Lobos, they have so much to play for right now. This is a must-win game for them, and keeping them in that Mountain West race. It's a pretty big game.
Agree. Well, we'll leave the poll up just for a little bit longer. Let's go to my first pick, and that is the Air Force at UConn. I like the line here of 7.5. But as we've seen, Air Force they're getting better and better and better as the season has gone on. Zarka is playing better and better and better. And I think probably UConn wins this game, but I'm going to take the touchdown plus with Air Force, 7.5. The way they can score this season, I'm comfortable taking the touchdown here. So I'm taking the Falcons in this game, Steve.
Yeah, don't blame you.
I want to mention, I'm going to pick the NIU game. You guys can see the score up top. They are completely annihilating UMass right now. So you'll see who I picked here in just a little bit. But I hope I picked NIU because they're crushing UMass.
For a while a couple of years ago, I thought UConn was the worst team in the country. Jim Mora, he's kind of brought them up along.
Yeah.
And earlier this season, I was wondering, is it Sam Houston State or UMass? I think it looks like UMass.
They don't have offense or defense. Yeah. It is definitely UMass.
And they have the absolute, I don't usually like to bang on programs too much, but they have the absolute worst freaking football stadium in the country.
Well, we were just talking before we went live about we think the MAC made a mistake adding UMass.
Yeah.
But to each their own.
The best thing about the MAC was that nice little geographic footprint around the Great Lakes and everything. And
now that we're talking about it, I'm gonna let everybody know right now. There's been some reporting that Sacramento State will be joining the MAC as a football only member. So speaking of the nice tight little, they added UMass. Now they added, apparently, reporting is they've added Sacramento State for football only.
And honestly, I don't blame Sac State at all for it. Right now, you have to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, for them.
I question the strategy there by the MAC. For me, if Mount West wasn't going to invite them, I really thought Conference USA would invite them.
I was told, and I had said this to the Dwellers long ago, Conference USA is not interested in going any further west. Yeah. Like, it was a hard no. So, and if you're Sac State, you just got to get your foot in the door. You got to get your foot in the door. It doesn't matter where.
Yep.
And apparently it's going to be the MAC. So let's close our poll. We've got 20 or so people that put in their vote. New Mexico is number one at 40%. Hawaii, 30%. San Diego State, 20%. And Fresno, only 10%. My two, and I'm not even sure who I would have voted for, my two would have been New Mexico and San Diego State. Yeah. As you mentioned, Hawaii for me, and you can go back and look at my preview if you don't believe me. I thought they were going to have a pretty good year. Am I surprised how well Alejado is playing? Yes, he's outperforming what I thought he was going to be. But I wouldn't say they're the most surprising. I was pretty down on San Diego State. I really didn't know what to expect with New Mexico. I had them previewed near the bottom of the Mountain West just because they're bringing in a lot of FCS players. What exactly is going to happen here? I'm glad that they're doing well. I love that they're doing well. But man, I for me and where I had my previews, because I had Fresno State at I think it was 6-6 or 7-5 this year. So for me, they're not that surprising. San Diego State, New Mexico, by far the two biggest surprises for me. All right, let's get to my next pick. Colorado State at New Mexico, the game we will be showing live on the Big Mountain. Line 14.5. We just saw what happened with Colorado State and UNLV. Mm-hmm. I think the same thing happens with Colorado State at New Mexico. So I'm taking the Lobos minus 14.5, and it's my first Big Mountain ice cold lock. The Lobos beat UNLV by 5 points. I think they've, as you said, I think they've only gotten better since then. Jackson Eck has been amazing on defense, and really the defense as a whole, but he's really kind of the captain out there. And I love everything about the Lobos right now. You know, some people said after our last episode, the Lobos are after the G6 episode, they were surprised we had them in 10th because they're the hottest Mountain West team right now. I think we've fairly put them right around 10th, 9th or 10th. But I'll tell you what, I agree. I think they are one of the hottest Mountain West teams right now. I wouldn't want to play them, I can tell you that much, if I'm in the Mountain West. So Colorado State's a hot mess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's for me, this was I know it's 14.5, it's over 2 touchdowns, but I think New Mexico has a field day in this game.
And a lot of times in college football, you see towards the end of the season, and we're there. Like, we're in November.
It's hard to believe, but we are there, yes.
Towards the end of the season, you start to see some programs, they don't have anything left to play for.
Yeah.
The players, those guys, they're starting to think about, what am I doing over the holidays? When am I going to go home? Or what school am I going to be playing for next year? Now in the era of the transfer portal, which is coming up not too far in the distant future. And you see games like this, and the opposite is New Mexico has everything in the world to play for. The Lobos, they can really finish this season strong and do well. So I don't blame you at all for locking this. I think this is one that could get really, really ugly.
So I see Bill is here. I know he was a little late, but that's okay. College football is fun when Hawaii is good.
Yes.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
It makes the after dark games so much fun.
Yeah, and Bill said San Diego State is his ahead of schedule right now. And there was a question here, Steve. I'm going to take a quick pause. Steve, any info on if MSU forfeited 23-24 games rumor? And then Bill is saying On3 is reporting that as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't know what they're talking about.
From what I understand, they are having to forfeit. I think it's like 13 or 14 games over that time period because of recruiting violations.
The football team.
Wow. Under the last coach.
Right. Yeah, there was all that stuff.
I don't know which games are being forfeited, other than I just saw that it was like 13 or 14 games.
Steven asks about my source. I just saw it on X, Steven, and it was, they quoted Canzano. So take it for what it is. They quoted Canzano. I think people know how I feel about that guy. But I don't think he would put something out there that, and I didn't read his article. Yeah. So I want to be really clear, and I should have maybe prefaced this, that it was Canzano apparently saying that Sac State and the MAC football only is going to be a thing. I have not been able to research that anymore, and I'm going to be doing that later tonight.
Bill, that college football guy, is saying that it's maybe starting to look like that was a troll job. We'll see. I agree with you, Canzano. Think about Canzano, and you have been clear about this, but I'll say it this time. He's a pack homer. So when you have to take
what's even bigger than a homer,
right? So you everything he writes or says, you got to take on wearing the glasses of, you understand that he's a pack homer. With this, the Sac State thing, like he has no reason to embellish or anything, as far as I know, unless he's like a big Sac donor or something that I don't know about.
Right. So I don't know where it came from. I probably shouldn't have even said it tonight.
Yeah, whatever.
But if you want to look into it, it is being discussed that potentially Sac State to the MAC. I don't think it makes sense for the MAC. I think like you said, it makes whoever they can get, whoever Sac State. I don't mean this to sound like they're, I don't know.
They really want. They're motivated
they absolutely
to get in.
Want to get in.
If that's their
so Stephen, if you find anything more on that, please let us know. Anyway, where are we going next? San Jose State versus Nevada. San Jose State versus Nevada. The line 9.5. Nevada got freaking butt whooped against USU. I felt bad for him. And the line 9.5. I'm sorry, Nevada, but I got to take San Jose State. I know this team's 3-6. I guess I'm still thinking they're a better team than they are. I love Walker Egan. I love Danny Scudero. I love this passing game. They can't seem to win freaking games. But against Nevada at 9.5, I'm taking the Spartans with another Big Mountain ice cold lock. It's too much offense. And, I feel like I've been saying that this whole year for the Spartans, and sometimes they've been letting me down. They did have that nice win against Hawaii, which was surprising. But their last game was stupid. I watched it. I didn't like watching it because I didn't know what they were doing. But, man, against Nevada, Steve, I got to take the Spartans here.
Yeah.
We talked about Jeff Choate on our members-only video and potential coaching changes. So for our members, you'll get to see that on Friday.
Yeah, and I like the guy. I met him at Media Days. Great to talk to. Very transparent, open, and honest. And they just continue to struggle. And you wonder how much of that struggling on the field. And we talked about this in the other episode, so people can watch that. Members can watch that. Want more info, but you wonder if all that struggling on the field really comes from the current coaching or the fact that there's been just so much change and turnover there over the last few years.
So Bill says Canzano is the only one reporting this. So, okay, take it or leave it. I saw it, and I told you who I saw it from.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Throwing stones in glass house. Maybe because I don't like Canzano. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it's because we're calling Canzano a pack homer.
I've always said I'm a Mountain West homer.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Okay, Tommy Gunn. Hey, welcome here, Tommy Gunn. Good to have you, sir.
I don't think we've seen Tommy.
It's
in
been
a
a
while.
little bit with Tommy. Stick around, Tommy, because Steve's going to talk about the Sergeant Moorhughes book later on.
Yeah. Cheers, Tommy.
Yes, 41-6. Of course, Las Vegas Larry. Sorry, not sorry, UNR. Yeah. There's no love lost with UNLV.
No.
All right, let's go to Utah State at UNLV. Speaking of the Rebels, the line here, 6.5. I think this is going to be a very close game. Very, very close game. Both of these teams can score points. We saw that over the course of this whole season. I love both of these quarterbacks. You guys are going to see tomorrow, I'm going to put out an episode for Player of the Year in the Mountain West. And I pick a player from every Mountain West team. And then I give you guys my Final Four. I don't name it. I just give you the Final Four, and I'm going to let the people, the dwellers, pick who the Player of the Year is going to be, at least after 11 weeks. And I'll let you all know, Bryson Barnes and Alex Calandria are both my picks for their different teams. Because I like both of these quarterbacks a lot. I think the two best overall quarterbacks in the Mountain West. I love Walker Egan's arm.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
But in terms of running and just overall toughness, give me Calandria and Barnes out of the Mountain West. But I'm going to take, this is going to upset some people.
Uh-oh.
I'm taking the Aggies, getting 6.5 points. As I said, I think it's a close game. And if it's a close game, give me the field goal or two. And I think this line is about right. I'm not touching it. I'm not betting it. But I'm going to take the points with the Aggies. The next one, second to last here, Boise State at San Diego State. Kind of a surprising line for me here, Steve, at 2.5, especially since Maddox Manson is out of this game. I know the Aztecs just got their butts whooped out on the islands, but this is still a very good team. Awesome defense, and I think Boise's going to really struggle to throw the ball in this game. So I'm going to take the Aztecs as the favorite, minus 2.5 for my third Big Mountain ice cold lock. Coming into this game, both of these are one-loss teams in the Mountain West. The loser of this game absolutely could see themselves out of the Mountain West Championship. I think that's Boise State, and I don't think Boise State makes the Mountain West Championship this year. I think the Aztecs absolutely can. Yeah. I'm not saying they will, but they absolutely can. Really concerned with Boise without Maddox, and I got to go with the Aztecs. They're not going to like getting blown out in Hawaii. Yeah. They're going to come back and want to put a hurting on somebody, and I think they're putting a hurting on Boise State. I really do.
Yeah, I was surprised the line. I actually already bet this.
Okay.
But now that I've seen you lock it, I think I'm going to go double up my bet.
Okay.
And sorry, Surf City Bill. It is what it is. With Boise's just not the team that they were last year, and now with Maddox out.
Yes.
That's rough.
Yeah. Take the under is right. There's 2 games here that are probably going to be pretty low scoring. The first one was this one, the Boise State, San Diego State. The second one is my last one, Wyoming and Fresno State. But before we do that, I have another poll, and I gave my opinion on Boise State. Do you guys think Boise is going to be in the Mountain West Championship game this season, based on where they are today? As I said, they're only a 1-loss team in conference. If they win this game, they're looking pretty good. I don't think they're able to win it, and I don't think they make the conference championship game. I want to hear from our dwellers.
It's going to be tough, especially if Madsen's out the rest of the year.
Yep.
It's going to be tough.
Last one, Wyoming at Fresno State. As I mentioned, I think this will be another low-scoring game. The line, 3.5. It started at 4.5. It's moved down to 3.5. I'm going to, again, take the points. I think it's about right where it should be, kind of similar to that UNLV Utah State game. You can call it a homer pick. It's not a homer pick. I think this is a field goal game. So I'm going to take the 3.5 points with the Cowboys, but I'm not going to bet it. I think it's just too close of a game, too close of a spread. I think they have it about right with these defenses playing as well as they are. I think that honestly, the question for me is who wins the turnover battle? Because Fresno's shown that they have the ability to turn it over. They've gotten a little better here recently, new quarterback. And Wyoming also has some troubles turning the ball over. So I think whoever wins the turnover battle wins this game. And just too close for me to bet. I'm not touching this with my bets.
I'm going to throw out an informal poll real quick.
Informal.
This is for our UNLV fans. Just throw a number up in the chat. What is the minimum amount of wins for our UNLV fans that the Rebs have to win this year for you to consider it just a successful season? Maybe not an amazing season, but a success in the first year. I'm interested to see what they have to say.
Okay, let us know. What is a successful season for UNLV under Coach Mullen in his first year, win-loss record-wise? All right, let's get to NIU versus UMass. You see the score. It's getting even worse. It's now 45-0. Yes, don't worry. I took NIU, minus 10.5. UMass is just a bad freaking team. Am I surprised NIU has scored 45 points given their offense this year? Yeah, but that just tells you how bad UMass is. No, sorry, Husky fans, but holy cow!
I don't know if oh yeah. You gotta, if this game holds, this score holds, gotta reach out to AD Frazier tonight. Send him a message.
I will do that.
Congratulate him. Tell him we were so excited to see him score so many points.
They went for it tonight. That's for sure. So I'm pretty sure I got this one right, Steve. Last week, if you remember, I had taken NIU and it was like, ooh, I'm going to lose that bet. Yeah. Now I got a winning bet. And look at that, Surf City Bill. I have a winning bet. And I'll have you know I'm above 50%, sir. So you can think what you want. No, I'm just kidding. We like to have you here, Surf City.
Yes.
And you keep rooting for your Broncos, my friend, as I know you will. All right, let's get to some of the Pac games. We've got Oregon State versus Tulsa. Oregon State just dropped a pod with Joe the Sauce Hedberg. We're seeing all these salacious rumors and things about A.D. Barnes. My last poll is going to be about A.D. Barnes, so stay tuned for that. But, what the heck's going on up there? And Joe's a good guy. Joe keeps it, Joe's like J.E.H.
Yeah.
They don't go off the handle. Yeah. They don't say salacious stuff. And I know J.E.H. already watched that. He already commented on that. And I hope you guys appreciate it. Joe's a good guy. He and I have DM'd for the last year and a half on stuff. And I was glad to get him on the channel now. He's a really good dude. And so anyway, I got to make the pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Tulsa.
Okay.
Plus 2.5.
Okay.
Not because I like Tulsa.
Right.
They're not a good team. But I just can't pick Oregon State. What are we doing? Yeah. I don't. And I'm committed to picking it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch this game otherwise. But I'm just going to take the points with Tulsa because, it's in Tulsa.
The Beavs, they did win they beat Washington State here recently, right? They win that
game somehow they won.
Yeah.
That's their second win.
Yeah.
Their only FBS win.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, one would have thought they would have beaten Sam Houston. Remember, I took
Yes.
Sam Houston State plus 20 points, and I said, oh, the Beavs are going to win. The Beavs didn't win that game.
yes. Yeah.
So, anyway, all right, let's close this poll. We'll see what people think in terms of Boise State making the championship game. 80%, 79, I'm rounding. 80% say no. So people agree with me.
Yeah.
They don't think Boise is going to make the championship game. Let's see what people say about your question.
I think Tommy said 10, which don't they already have 2 losses?
They have 2 losses right now.
So they got to win out.
Yes, he's saying 11-2 with the bowl.
Oh, okay.
So
the bowl
he
win.
wants
Okay.
he wants 10-2 going to a bowl,
Okay.
and then going 11. But yeah, up top there he said
10 wins.
10 wins. I also see rumbling saying, "Will Wyoming go bowling? They have to win this game against Fresno to go bowling. This is, if the Pokes want to bowl, this is a must-win game. If they lose this game, they're not bowling." Okay, what else have we got here? We got an 11-2 with the bowl win. Yes, Rumbling, agree. Crazy how quickly expectations can change. I know Rumbling also put a comment on that. I know he watched that Beaver episode as well. 7-2 says R Vegas. 7-2 record for UNLV, can get up to 10 wins. For a successful debut for Dan Mullen, win 1 or 2 over these next 2, beat UNO or win the bowl. All right, so he's saying 1 or 2, so that'd be 8-3 beaten, so 9-3. He's saying 9-3 with a bowl win, is what R Vegas is saying.
For me, I think UNLV. I think it's already been a successful season with a complete rebuild, but I know how badly they will all want to beat Reno at least. So.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's there's a lot of hate there.
Yeah.
JEH doesn't blame me. Thank you, sir. It just is what it is at this point. You know how it is. And Big Mama really wants to know if the producer has any picks. The producer's pick is the next pick. I'm just making it a producer pick. But before we get there, we have our last poll. The last poll is: should Oregon State fire athletic director Barnes? Should he be fired?
I think no.
Okay.
I say no.
Joe says no.
Yeah.
So you guys can vote if you so choose. That's our last one. All right. At La Tech, I almost did LA Tech. La Tech, Louisiana Tech, at Washington State. And I'm going against the Pac-2 on both of my picks. I don't understand where Washington. I gave them credit for their close losses there against some good teams. Was it Ole Miss and Virginia? Then they go home. Well, they played in Oregon State, but still close enough, and they lose to Oregon State. I still don't know how they lose that game. And La Tech, I want to call them LA. La Tech is a pretty good team. I mean, getting 7.5 points. I'm just going to take the points. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington State covers here. Again, not a game I'm going to pick. I just don't have a lot of faith in either of the Pac teams. And I'll tell you, it was hard for me to pick Tulsa because Tulsa's not a good team.
No.
But I don't think the Beavs are that much better. So, anyway, I'm taking La Tech. All right.
Plus 7.5.
Plus 7.5, yes. Now I got UTEP at Missouri State. UTEP has burnt me this year a bit more than what I would want them to. And so I am actually going to take the favorite here in Missouri State. I didn't write down I think it's 4.5 if I remember. Thank you, producer. 4.5. I was a little surprised this line was as low as it was, kind of like last week. Remember, I was pretty heavy Jack State. Jack State only won by 3, so it was a close game, but they did cover. I think Missouri State's a far better team than Jack State was, and I think they cover this 4.5. Sorry, UTEP. I would love to see you cover. I'd love to see them win the game, but I think Missouri State's I think they're going to be too good. All right, Steve, the last one, and this is an other. This is a pick I didn't have to make, but I'm going to make it. USF at Navy. The line is 10.5. I think, I'm sorry, you've heard me say it. I think Navy's overrated. They never played anybody good. until they finally played a good team. What was that 2 weeks ago? I'm trying to remember who it was. Memphis? That's what I was going to say. Memphis and then Notre Dame.
North Texas in there somewhere.
Yeah, now they get, I'm sorry, they're not up to them. USF, I think, is going to roll Navy, and so I'm taking USF with an other pick, a pick I don't have to make. But 10.5, way too easy for me to pick the Bulls.
I haven't figured out what the deal with Horvath.
Yeah.
I did not see him play at all against Notre Dame. So
yeah, he was out.
Yeah.
I don't know what I frankly, I didn't look. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Bulls minus 10.5. So that's how confident I am that Navy's going to lose. Okay. Let's close the last poll, and then we got our last two items, and then we're going to wrap up because I have to go produce tomorrow's episode.
Yeah.
So just as a reminder, before we do these last couple things, let's talk about this. So about almost 2/3, 62% says Oregon State should fire A.D. Barnes. I'm kind of with Joe. I really appreciated what Joe had to say, and I like that he kind of gave that more historical aspect about where they've been, what he has had to do over these conditions. It's easy to be hard on the guy right now. I get the fact that people really, and the one piece to me that I know really burns fans, Beaver fans, is that whole deal that they made for the NIL money and the, I can't remember the group's name, keeps 50% of what they raise, and they lost their minds with that.
Yeah.
And I think rightfully so. It was high, or it is high. But I think he's done so much more good over these last few years with what they've had to deal with that it'd be hard for me to let him go. JEH, thank you. I think you put that in as your comment or one of your comments about his pay. They gave him a big pay increase, and he's now like the top, or one of, maybe the top, says JEH, G6AD. You know, in an environment and in a school that you got to count your pennies now a little bit more.
Yeah.
I get that piece. I don't think that's necessarily on him.
Right.
That's what the university said they would do for him, and they wanted to keep him. So, but I understand that argument being made about that. So, I don't know if you have any other comments.
Well, the thing, there's only one other school in the country that has gone through what what they've gone through.
Right.
And going from, you have a certain budget, and then it's just completely taken out from under you, and you still have all these programs that you got to support, you got to do this, and you got to navigate, basically helping to create a new conference. And I mean, there's just so many things. I get it. If the leadership of the university thinks someone else can do better, fine. But I think there's like a mob mentality a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, unprecedented what they have gone through.
Yeah.
Both programs, Washington State and the Beavs. And it's really, really tough. And I think too many Beavs fans, and JH he's pretty pragmatic. Like, he's level-headed. Yeah. But there's a lot of Beavs fans that are not at all level-headed. And they expected, this is just going to be a bump in the road, and everything's going to be perfect. We're going to build this beautiful brand new conference, and we're going to get our revenue up and our NIL up and all this stuff, and everything's going to be okay. Well, that was pie in the sky. Like, that was just incredibly ridiculous expectations. And so I think the mob is trying to hold him to their ridiculous expectations. Now, but it's going to come down to, the university leadership and the donors, honestly, what they think about his performance.
Jerry in the Park says UNLV is going to win the rest of the games of the season, which would make them 10-2.
Yeah.
So we have another 10-2 person. And so we'll parlay that into the next item. Barnes is still at Oregon State. Mm-hmm. They've kept their AD through this whole process. Mm-hmm. Washington State now today fires, or at least it was announced today, fires their athletic director, McCoy, who came in as the interim when Pat Chun left to go to Washington. A.D. McCoy comes in as an interim, then they hire her as the A.D. She's now getting fired by President Cantwell. I mean, this is like a freaking musical chairs going on with Washington State at this point. But yeah, she was fired today. I gotta say, Steve, I heard her speak a few times, and it's not the end all be all.
Yeah.
So I'm not the greatest speaker to begin with, but she was just on. I think it was a week or two ago. It may have been 2 weeks ago, but she was just on one of the Washington State they do like their own athletic pod.
Yeah.
And it was her, and they brought in Teresa Gould, and so it was the host, A.D. McCoy, and Commissioner Gould, and she wasn't impressive to me. Like they just said the same stuff they've always said. There was nothing new, just very little excitement. And again, I know that's not the end all be all. You can be a great AD and just kind of be bland about things. I mean, I think Conference USA's commissioner's a little bit bland, but I hear she's a fantastic Janet. Anyway, I hear she's fantastic. She doesn't come across super enthusiastic. And again, it's not the end all be all. But I wasn't really impressed hearing her speak a few times. She to me, didn't bring a whole lot to the table. And, I'll parlay this with the news from earlier this week where the president, Cantwell, says Washington State, according to her, is at the bottom of the new pack with football NIL money right now. Yep. They're at the bottom of the pack. And does some of that have to do with the AD not trying to help? Like, who knows? Yeah. We're connecting dots that I just can't. I just know that recently the president was pretty vocal about where they're at and where she wants them to be. Now we're firing the AD, and they're in a bit of a I don't want to say they're in a mess, but they're just in a transition, know. And so I'll bring that back to Barnes and say, at least you have Oregon State. You have a stable guy. Is he perfect? No, nobody's perfect. But I mean, who would you rather be right now? Oregon State that has your stable AD and president who's been through this and know where they're headed, or Washington State who has a new president, just fired their AD, going to be on their third one since the pack collapsed. Like, you kind of like, who would you rather be? And maybe some people would rather be Washington State. I don't know, but that turnover it's not helpful.
No. Well, and the thing is that like you said, she was the interim. She was, the one that left was her boss. She was an assistant, and they really asked her to, like, hey, we want you to step up and eat this crap sandwich. And so she had to keep chomping on that crap sandwich for how long? And really, has the situation around Washington State gotten any better? No. Now, the end-all be-all, unfortunately, is money.
Yeah.
And so if she wasn't raising the amount of money that they need to be successful, then, it is what it is. But something has to be said about, for people at both of these programs, like, they had to take these schools through a really crappy situation.
Right.
And so to hold them to the same standards of, like, other programs, I think is a little rough. But if you're last in NIL and last in funding for that, it's going to be tough. And so I'm guessing that's probably why they fired her, not how she sounds talking.
No,
I'm just teasing a little. But, I mean, because you said how people speak is not the end-all be-all. But unfortunately, in college sports, how much you raise, the money is the end-all be-all.
Well, you have to be, and we've talked about this with some of the ADs that we've had on. You have to be a salesman now. Yeah. You have to go out and sell your product. Yeah. You got to have a good product, and then you have to sell your product. You see, I think AD Dickey's one of the best of that. Now he's got a great product to sell.
And he's very polished,
good. He's very good. I think Garrett Classy does an excellent job. We talked about that with AD Frazier. He's super intelligent and knows exactly what he's talking about. And I'm not saying she's not intelligent.
Yeah.
But there's certainly a sales aspect. There's a going out for donations. Like you need to be okay and comfortable and confident and sound like you're selling a great product when you're asking donors for money. And the ADs are doing that.
Yeah. Well, a part of it comes in, when we had AD Frazier on last time, he said the job of AD has changed so much and so quickly, because for the longest time you were a practitioner. You had to make sure they got to where they needed to on time, make sure fields were ready, all that stuff. And now in the NIL world, it's changed. You have to be a salesman, the best marketer, all that stuff. And I would say not necessarily for good. Like it's changed, not necessarily for the good.
Sure, right. Well, we talk about more coaches. I see Rumbling and JEH talking about some coaches, and Brent Vegan's name is up. I bring him up on our members-only discussion about coaching changes. Possibly that name comes up with Colorado State and or Oregon State and maybe some other schools. So, hey, if you want to see our member-only content, you can become a member. All right. So with that, Steve, last thing, first time ever we're going to do a book review. Sergeant, I haven't seen him come in, but we will certainly let know Sergeant is. We'll let him know.
Yes. Okay.
Because he is a member.
Yes. So first ever book review on the mountain. Fevered Calamity. The listed author is R.D. Fluke, and we will say he is one of our mountain dwellers. When we met in person out in Vegas.
Yeah.
Great guy. We got to have a lot of fun at the brewery with him.
This brewery right here.
Yeah.
Right there. I don't remember what the heck it was called, but that's a can from it.
Yeah. So the author, he's a mountain dweller. He was in the Marines. Has combat experience overseas. And this book, that's one of the things I'll say is you can definitely tell the author has experience, speaks with credibility.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and I was in the military for 22 years. A lot of times when you read, if you've been in the military and you see a military TV show or you read, it's ridiculous because people don't know what terms to use. They throw out these scenarios that are ridiculous. But R.D. Fluke, he is an authentic guy who's been there. He's seen it. He's done it. So he writes from a credible perspective. And on top of that, the book is a fantastic page turner. Like it just keeps. I'm like, one more page. Okay, one more. Like couldn't put it down. I think when we were out in Vegas, I basically
you busted through
Yes.
half of it on the plane ride.
Yeah,
you just kept going.
Yeah, I had like maybe 3 or 4 chapters left. Now it's not like a long form novel. It is a book, a collection of short stories, but fantastic. If you love thrillers, you love geopolitical thrillers that have a great solid military kind of background to it, flavor to it. It's just absolutely fantastic. And he did give me an autographed copy, which is very awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
so
awesome.
I highly recommend the book. It's, again, one of our dwellers wrote it, so maybe give him a little support. And again, I loved it. I'm excited. He's got a new book coming out. He said it's been in editing purgatory for a little while, but I think
Darn those editors.
I know, but I think it's about done. And it sounds like he's coming out soon. I can't as soon as it comes out, I'm gonna be ordering it, pre-order whatever on Amazon because we left at a pretty good cliffhanger on this one, and I'm ready to see what happens next. So just wanted to give him a shout out.
Throw
this up here. I know our producer's trying to put the link up on there, and we're also
there?
Yeah, right there.
Oh.
And
I'll put it in the description eventually.
yes,
too.
yeah, put the link in the description. So check it out. I think the book's only like on Amazon like $7.99 or something. So check it out.
Christmas is right around the corner.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Fevered Calamity by one of our mountain dwellers.
And I just have to say, being that he is a veteran, you are a veteran, I want to thank our veterans a day after Veterans Day. And anybody else in the chat, anybody else that's watching, thank you so much for everything. And yes, Beer Zombies, thank you. I knew somebody would help us. Beer Zombies. JEH says acronyms in the military is a must.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure JEH is a veteran, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
I think so. Maybe, I don't know. I could be wrong. Rumbling, that's a good point about Vegan. He's a Wyoming guy. Would he really go to CSU? I mean, I don't know if he would or he wouldn't, but I think he'd probably be pretty darn happy in the Mountain West.
Yep.
He's in Montana State right now. It's the same daggone thing. My biggest question, well, I'm not going to say it. It's for our members only. I'm not going to say nothing other than that.
It's such a good. It was a fun episode. And
it was
you
good.
Just want to spill the beans.
I want to keep going. So, well, there we go. NIU up 45-0, completely putting a butt spanking on UMass. And there we go. Sorry we were late, but we kept it to about an hour. Our producer crushed it yet again. We were throwing at him all kinds of goodies and polls, and I don't think I made a mistake in any of my slides, and it's a good night. Now I'm going to go produce tomorrow's episode.
All right.
With that, hey, thank you guys for watching this. We always appreciate you guys joining us for our live shows. Smash that like button on the way out. We got 2 episodes dropping tomorrow, and join us for the live stream, Colorado State versus New Mexico, Saturday. Love to see you there on our channel. We'll see you next time on the Big Mountain.